Winter in Japan, and I'm sure you're all freezing your butts off. And there's a couple of hints, tips I have for you of how to get through winter in Japan, because winter anywhere in the world is... Okay, I'm going to have to take this off. I know it's past Christmas and all, but I didn't make it too long. But anyways, so anywhere in the world in winter, especially, if you're in northern, sort of northern areas, it's tough. But Japan is doubly so because there is no insulation in the houses for the most part, especially sort of older apartment buildings and just residential houses. So when you wake up or when you step inside, it's almost the same temperature as it is outside. Luckily, the walls cut down the wind, but that's about it. So there are a couple things you can do to deal with this. First of all is layers. Layers will be your friend. They'll save you money. Go to Uniqlo, get your heat tech, sweatshirts, hats, sweatpants, slippers. You want all that to keep you warm. Second thing, since there's no central heating, usually a room in your apartment or in your house or a couple of rooms will have an individual unit for AC and also for heating, but electricity can be quite expensive, and usually they're put at the top of the wall so the hot air doesn't really come down, so it's not so efficient. There's another option which is commonly used, especially in the countryside, kerosene heaters. To buy the fuel, it's pretty, it's a decent, it's cheaper than having the wall unit, but however you have to deal with fire hazard, you have to vent the room at least once every 3 hours because there's the fumes, makes you sleepy. A lot of families use them, but man, it's dangerous. Another way, actually a good way, is the electrified carpet, which is actually really good. And since you're sitting on the floor a lot of the times anyways, it'll make your legs toasty. The heat will, come up from the floor and rise up. Very good option. I recommend it. There's the kotatsu. I was never a big fan of it, but the kotatsu it's a low table with a little heater and a fan on the bottom of it, and a sort of a heat blanket that comes out from the table, and people stick their feet in there, kind of lay in there. It's Japanese favorite. It also makes you really sleepy, so it's hard to get anything done. That's also an option. What I recommend for you is to have lots of dinner parties, get people together, cook, more bodies, more heat. If you're cooking, you're also warm too. Just don't stay and huddle in your little apartment all cold, because it'll be a miserable winter. I can guarantee you that. But winter is not all bad in Japan. One of the great things are the illuminations that they put on. So if you're worried, if you're coming from sort of America, Western culture where there's Christmas lights everywhere, that's come to Japan, and they've taken it to a whole nother level. Christmas lights, or illuminations as they call them, you can go to the mall, outside the train station, department stores. They usually have some illuminations going on. It's a great place to go with your friends, go on a date, take some pictures, and sort of get that little feeling of home while you're in Japan. And I'll show you some pictures now. I also had the opportunity to go to a place in Kita-Kyushu, which is in Fukuoka, on the island of Kyushu, and it's called Space World, and it's normally sort of like a second-rate amusement park with this theme of space, NASA, that sort of thing. But in winter, they actually light up the whole park with these different illuminations. They have mazes that you walk through with full of Christmas lights. They light up basically the whole park. There's ice skating inside, some laser shows, Christmas music. They had when I went there, they had these telescopes, and you could check out the moon, and I think we could also see Venus at that time. So it was pretty interesting. I recommend it. It's kind of steep trying to get in. I think it was probably at least around Nissan per person, plus you had to pay to rent skates on the top of that, and it was, I don't like amusement parks in Japan, but I got roped into going, so it was actually a good experience. I got some short video to show you. So when you're in Japan, you may be cold, but make sure you get out of your house, don't huddle and feel sorry for yourself. Check out the illuminations, go skiing, just make it an active winter, and it'll help you get through it. of course, continue your Japanese study. But those were some tips on getting through winter in Japan. Make sure you email me or message me with any questions you have. And food, you want to have nabe, shabu shabu, always have your miso soup. So Japanese food cuisine has a lot of foods, especially for winter, sort of these hot pots that bring people together, so they can huddle around, the burner and eat out of the pot. So the food even brings people together and helps them keep warm. Now we just have to hope that people in construction industry, get the hint, catch up with the rest of the first world, and start insulating their houses. Apparently houses in Hokkaido are insulated. I haven't been there to see for myself, but they should really bring that down to the rest of Japan. I think originally the houses, the way they're built the way they are, because the summers are so humid that they really want to be able to open the houses up, have windows, open up, sliding doors. That's all good for letting a breeze in, but not good for trapping the heat in, or the AC for that matter. But make sure you like and subscribe, and if you have any questions about living in Japan, leave a comment. This is GaijinGuide. Peace.